It's time for Optimum's Red Hot Sale. Get 200 meg internet, TV with over 260 channels, and unlimited home phone, all for $69.99 a month for 1 year guaranteed. And for a limited time, HBO and Showtime are included for 1 year. Switch today. Click for details and special web-only offers.
Episode 804 of No BS Job Search Advice Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. And I was referred to as the Big Game Hunter when I did recruiting because I hunted down leaders and staff organizations and did it for more than 40 years. Now I think of myself as helping people play their professional and personal games big at a high level so they're not stinking up the joint. And that's really what today's stupid interview mistake is all about. It's a fly-in interview. The person made a mistake. They're asking for an opinion. I hope you find this show helpful. I hope you don't find yourself in this position where you make this kind of a mistake. But if you do, here's my opinion of what you should or shouldn't do. And now, let's get going. I received a message today from someone that posed a scenario and asked me for an opinion. So he's done a phone interview and is told that it's a technicality for the client wanting to meet him. So the recruiter tells him that he needs to pay the airfare and travel, and if he gets offered the job, he'll get paid back for the trip. Now, let's read between the lines. Between the lines is, you lay out the money. If you get the job, I'll pay you back. If you don't get the job, nada. So he asks, when I ask about what happens if they don't select me, the recruiter says, this is for sure, and stop talking negative. Like I said, the recruiter is going to pay him back if he gets the job. If he doesn't get the job, he's out of luck. So everything sounds fine, and he books a flight from one city to Atlanta and rents a car. The night before, he goes to a friend's wedding, and he's on a 3 a.m. flight the next morning. So let's get practical. He knows the guy for a long time. It's a good decision to go to the wedding, but he's on a 3 a.m. flight. So let's say he's at the airport at 1:30 tight. It's a tight time. And he's sleep deprived when he lands. He's got the interview going, and the long and the short of it is he doesn't get the job. His body just wants to get to sleep, and he didn't perform on the interview. He tells the recruiter what happens. He says, I want to explain it to the client. He says, I don't even care about the expenses. And the client doesn't want to talk to him. The recruiter has no interest. Well, the company doesn't want to talk to him. And at the end of the day, he asked this question. Is it a good deal to go on these flyouts prepaid? Does it come across stronger to say that I want half the money up front? Is it worth taking the risk if the client will not pay up front? So he's looking for a way to protect himself. So here's my thinking. Number one, if you had a wedding the night before, it isn't like the wedding wasn't on your schedule when the interview showed up, right? You knew about that beforehand and you miscalculated. As a result, you wound up going out sleep deprived. That has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to get paid back. That has to do with you made a mistake. Number two is the way you handle this in the future is you don't put yourself in the position where you're going to be sleep deprived and thus unable to perform. This has nothing to do with the money. This has to do with you. You didn't deliver the goods on the interview, and who would want to pay for you to have an excursion to stink up the joint? At the end of the day, what you could have done is said, I can't do Monday, I can do Tuesday, no problem. I have plans on Sunday that I can't change. Tuesday, I will be there. I'll get on an early morning flight. And you know what you could also have done? You could have gone out the night, you could go out Monday night for a Monday afternoon for a Tuesday interview, get a good night's sleep in the hotel, and then walk in refreshed. Instead, you made a mistake. People make mistakes. And you ask for my advice, I give no BS advice. In the future, don't put it back to back on yourself like this. You've already demonstrated you can't deliver under these circumstances. Don't do it again, okay? Don't ask for money. You can try asking for money, but the agency won't pay it, and most of the time the company won't pay it because they've already told the recruiter what they're willing and unwilling to do. So at the end of the day, it's on you to arrange the schedule in a way where you can perform. It's a tough lesson, an expensive lesson, because obviously you wanted it enough to get on the plane and go there at your own expense. Now, don't duplicate that again. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few ways to connect with me. First of all, if you're interested in one-to-one coaching from me, email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. In the subject line, put the word coaching. This way I know what it's about. I can get back in touch with you. We'll figure out a time to speak for an introductory conversation so that I learn what your needs are and you can figure out if I'm the right person to help you. Generally, I work with people at a manager level and above, but I do make exceptions from time to time. If you're not at that level and want advice from me, the best way is through JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. There I have curated information that I've developed and others have as well that you can watch, listen to, or read that's going to help you find work more quickly. Again, you can ask me questions through the site. I'd be very happy to answer your questions. I look forward to helping you in either of those two ways. And if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/TheBigGameHunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love hearing from fans, from listeners who have been helped by the show. And like me on Facebook. The page is facebook.com/NoBSCoachingAdvice.com, or look for Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter there. Give me 5 stars, a great review. It helps other people discover the show. And I'll be back tomorrow with more. In the meantime, have a great day. Take care.
It's time for Optimum's Red Hot Sale. Get 200 meg internet, TV with over 260 channels, and unlimited home phone, all for $69.99 a month for 1 year guaranteed. And for a limited time, HBO and Showtime are included for 1 year. Switch today. Click for details and special web-only offers. It's time for Optimum's Red Hot Sale. Get 200 meg internet, TV with over 260 channels, and unlimited home phone, all for $69.99 a month for 1 year guaranteed. And for a limited time, HBO and Showtime are included for 1 year. Switch today. Click for details and special web-only offers.